I do glasses or no glasses?
I mean, we're all wearing them. Why not? Or you could just go rogue and be
Friend. I think it like covers up some of the wrinkles. Like you don't see them as
Girl,
much because you're distracted by the glasses.
Honestly, you cannot even see any wrinkles.
I see them, but I'm probably
if
being
you wear them,
subconscious.
wear them. Life is life in. You earn them.
Life is life in. It is.
Speaking of life is life in, ladies, how was your day today? Can we chat a little bit about this? And guys, I think this episode is gonna probably be called Let's Game, but it might be changed depending on the conversation because this was different.
I feel like I'd call it Let's Prompt, but I know we took different sessions today. My whole day was around AI prompts and how to write them to make them give you what you want.
Okay.
And so I really think I'm going back with a whole new take on how I approach most of my tasks because I am not asking AI enough. I need to be asking a lot more. And that was my biggest takeaway today is like, I know I'm ahead of the game of so many people that aren't using it, but like there's people using it way more than me. And I'm missing that boat right now. So like, the wheels are turning.
Right.
How about you guys?
I started using it for my work, for coming up with video scripts, for coming up with learning objectives, actually asking GPT whether or not this information from a previous slide on a training is actually relevant for employees or for the public. And it's like, no, yes, change it up here. So it's been really helpful.
So today during one of my classes, speaking of, he said, the instructor, I can't remember what it is, y'all, it's been a day. But he said, try this GPT chat thing. And for me, it was, ready? How do I get my supervisor to change their mind after denying my personal time off?
That was what he had you do?
No, that's what I decided to type in because I want to know how crazy of a response I'm going to get.
Right.
And it was not crazy. It talked about like mental wellness and recharging and being more efficient. And I'm like, okay, I see you. I see what you're doing. So for me, it wasn't necessarily building content. I wanted to see what it was going to respond like a critical or a crucial conversation type of thing. Like how could you respond to something like this? Not necessarily as a leader, but like as an employee or vice versa, I just wanted to test it out. That was pretty cool. I like that.
I wonder if it would pick up on passive aggressive tones and or, not being tactful and correct you. Like, let's say you have to write an email to that one coworker that you're just having a hard time with, and, you're writing because you're so mad and you put it in Chat GPT to say, hey, please look at this before I send it out. Could I reword this and see if it would pick up on tenses and all that type of thing?
I've done
there's
that.
An opportunity for Chat GPT where it's like, hey, an option for this message, bring it down, corporate language. You're at a 10. I'm gonna need you to be at a 4.
That's where your prompts come in, and I have done that, but I'm gonna do it differently after today. I have said, can you reword this more professionally? Because I knew I was angry or irritated. Another thing that was cool today is I didn't really know about agents, and it makes so much sense. And you know what, y'all, we need to get ahead of this. So when you get a prompt that works really well for a repetitive task, like your video script, for instance, you need to save those to a library and you reuse that prompt. But then you have another prompt that takes the video script and asks, is this relevant to the field? Is there anything you could put in here for leadership? And when you find that prompt that works well, you save that to your library. So like you have this bucket of different prompts that you put into AI to like check you on every level in different areas and make sure you're on the right track. And when you get like a negative or a no from one, you know you need to go back to
Yeah.
the first one and start over. And I had not considered that before. And the first breakout session I went to today, that's what he said is like what the next level of AI is going to be is businesses are going to just create agents. Like they're going to sell it essentially because they will have the prompt that works the best and they're going to be able to sell it along with automation.
Mm. Yeah.
Which was
So
cool.
one thing that I have learned from yesterday and today is it's been said over and over again is to that you can't just use AI and that be an end all. You have to edit what your AI tells you. So whenever I use anything, ChatGPT or OpenAI, whatever, I always come back and like have Grammarly check it in my own eyes or whatever. And I realize like that there's a lot of inconsistencies or whatever. So definitely edit. We're partnering with AI to make it work. It's not that it's, taking our job and, working on its own.
Right.
I agree 100%. I don't think it can ever fully replace us. It doesn't always connect all the dots.
Right.
It can give us some information, but there has to be some critical thinking. And you can teach that to AI and it can do that step next time, but there's always going to be another step that human brains have to compute.
Right. So true. Yeah, she spoke about that during the keynote piece. Um, which by the way,
Yeah,
safe space,
safe space.
that was a little rough.
That was
Maybe the content could have been, maybe the content was great. But the presentation was not connecting the presenter. And as for someone who is going to a TechLearn conference, I was expecting a little bit more like the A game. You are a keynote speaker. I needed more from that experience. Right. That's it. That's all I can say about that. Oh, guys, by the way, if you guys are just tuning in, this is episode number 4, and we have a special guest today, Daphne Bodice. She is also an instructional designer, and we are all actually attending the TechLearn 2024 conference here in Austin, Texas. I had to say yeehaw or something like that, or y'all in the conference. That felt kind of interesting. Maybe if you're not from Texas, it's fine. But Daphne, you want to tell us a little bit about you?
Sure.
How many years have you been in this game?
I have been an instructional designer, facilitator, trainer, for about 18 years now.
Wow.
I actually started as a journalist in my earlier years.
Interesting.
And did everything marketing, communications, and design. Self-taught graphic designer. And since then, with every different position I've ever held, I've always worn different hats. Whenever I was working at MD Anderson, inpatient education, that's when the e-learning part started. I was kind of voluntold to create an e-learning as an advertisement way back in the days, like back in 2012, basically. They wanted to come up with some advertisements for some of the smaller regional care centers that's what they were called before. But anyways, I came up with a e-learning for it. We posted it on the main website, and that was the advertisement for these, buildings. And yeah, so my e-learning journey kind of started from there. And but I've been doing training and just education training for different other companies for a while now. So
Right on. So you kind of answered that next question, which was how did you become an ID and your story about that, which is funny because Shannon and I have talked about this before. Our stories of how we landed in this is
Mhm.
completely not necessarily planned. We just
No.
kind of happened to be here. And I love that you said I'm a self-taught designer because we both also are. We just happen to have special skills that we can pull from to make us effective. It's
Yeah, I feel
awesome.
like my
Thank you.
background in journalism definitely helps with the instructional design, just because, you know, we're trying to make it to where people, all the public can understand what something, what something is being said, conveyed. And
Mhm.
that's really what instructional design is. It's working on flow, it's working on making sure that everything is understandable, so.
I actually laughed this morning because the first breakout session, he asked, how many of you are accidental IDs? And I wanted to be like, I have a podcast called Oops, I'm an ID.
Hey, plug.
But like
Okay.
almost everyone raised their hands. And that's when I was like, wow, there's that many instructional designers here with that specific title. Because I expect there to be training specialists and all of that. But it was kind of funny.
Technical
Yeah.
writers, one was one of them.
Learning architect. He asked if anybody
Educational specialist.
Yeah.
That's what we were called, and that's
Mhm.
probably what it is. But again, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Did you sign up for any gamification sessions? Anybody?
I signed up for a gamification class session today. It was with Monica Cornetti, I believe that's how you pronounce her last name.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've actually taken her classes before, and I low-key got certified a long, long time ago. But I've been doing gamification for quite a bit in my e-learning days. But I enjoyed the class, but there was definitely a lot of people in there, so I felt like it was a little bit hard to hear and
Ooh,
get involved and interact with what she was trying to convey. So that was a little
Yeah.
difficult, but
Yep. I agree. And I was getting warm. It was warm in there. There was a lot of people. Hot topic. Did we say where we are yet? Did we say we're at TechLearn
yes.
in
Yes.
Austin? I thought so. My
But
bad.
for the people in the back who didn't hear it,
For the people in the back, yeah. For the Shannons
focus.
here, I'm just gonna let you know again. If you were like squirrel, that's where we are.
Yeah, where they at? Yeah, they don't look like their normal place. That class, which if you didn't grasp yet, we actually all three of us attended it.
We did.
And it was called Mind Games, Leveraging Behavioral Science for Transformative Game-Based Learning. Again, guys, these titles are super long.
Mhm.
Uh,
I got a TikTok planned for that too.
Ooh, please.
We got to do a couple at dinner, just FYI.
okay.
I'm gonna rope y'all in.
I am down. I will tell you this, during that session, yes, it was crowded. I got a little foggy because I guess allergies played a role into it. I never thought I would be that person, but here we are at this big age. Some things that I took away from that space was, well, one, shout out to her because her slide deck was nice,
Mhm.
which was the only one today that was that good.
Agreed.
Did you see the
Agreed.
last slide where it was almost like a little game board piece around that racetrack that she had?
Mhm.
Oh, no, I was
So
trying to
she's
get
had
out.
that in prior sessions or whatever, where you're literally taking in an e-learning maybe, or even instructor led, where you're taking a little game piece and going around the racetrack or going around the board. So that's pretty cool. Very interactive.
Yes, definitely. She described different things like how we usually think about like badges, or what was the other one that she said it was very typical? Completion. She's like switch it up a bit.
Points or
Yeah.
something like those are all.
Unlocking things, boosters, leveling up, life jackets, maybe extra lives. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. Her presentation was awesome. I think that's the only one that I attended that had to do with gamification. Everything else that I attended had to do more with like, y'all, ready? I'm about to nerd out real quick because I don't want to overpower this. That first session and the last session,
Oh, the last
worth
session.
it.
Ugh.
Worth it. That
I'm
first
so bummed.
section talked about articulate snippets, JavaScript, JavaScript snippets. You guys, 10 out of 10.
Mhm.
Was so much fun. He had interactive examples. He had codes for you already. I mean, the professor, the guy, the facilitator, he was ready. He
Mhm.
stayed ready. He didn't have to get ready. He
Yep.
was so good. And he was funny. That last session,
Oh,
I thought I was gonna die going in. And then I stayed engaged the entire time. He had some really cool stuff. His personality was funny. The class was, kind of feeding off of him. Uh,
Mhm.
it was just great. It was great.
That's that's awesome that he held you the entire time, because I know that's tough for you if it's not engaging.
Right.
So to hear that, I'm bummed that I went to the other one that didn't end up, had a long title, didn't end up being what I thought it was going to be about. But shout out to my first session today too. Josh Cavalier, go follow him on LinkedIn. He talked a lot about all the prompts and how to write them and the agents. And he gave us 250 ready-made prompts and also some automation that writes video script. And he, honestly, this took me back to my training days, because I was a trainer for several years and I always like to just roll my sleeves up, share my screen, and show them how to do it. Because a lot of trainers, they haven't really done it, right? You've not actually done the job. So, and I remember being in that space and I'm like, but I want them to show me how they actually do it, not just a PowerPoint. So
Right.
it was always important to me. And he freestyled the whole session, sharing his screen, showing us stuff. He had 20 tabs open and he knew which one to go between. He didn't need a PowerPoint. And I thought that was cool because he knew what he was talking about at such a deep level that he just like dove in and showed us. So it was that was my favorite session today.
I like that you gave the guy a shout out. Our guy was
Yeah.
called Mr. Destry.
Destry Hildenbrand.
Thank
Mhm.
you for the save, Daphne. Bravo. I need a little clapping.
The last session was really great for
I have
me.
a.
I mean, just learning the augmented reality and being able to like do it as he was talking about it. And like, even if I had some technical difficulties, but he came in and like swooped in and helped, save my project or whatever and helped me like go through it. But I'm like honestly super excited to go back and, create something that has to do with what I do at work and then showing my coworkers. My first session was really good. It was so since I'm a safety trainer, I tend to stick with stuff that, will go and help my major clients. So my major clients are environmental health and safety, emergency management, anywhere in facilities management, O&M, maintenance, housekeeping, that type of thing. But the first one was good, but I realized during that session, it was about training for high risk areas, which, that's where I work in is a high risk area. But going to the session, listening through it, listening to what these three different individuals had to say about their own programs, onboarding programs in high risk areas. It made
Mhm.
me realize that I should also be presenting. I have the skills. I
Mhm.
do onboarding, I do training for high risk areas, and instead of these little smaller companies that do, only cover or impact, 1,000 people or 3 people or whatever,
Mhm.
my impact is a little bit bigger, and I should be able to present as well.
Right.
So
We
maybe
go,
like
girl.
next TechLearn conference there is, I think the next one is in New Orleans next year. Maybe I will raise my hand and say, hey, I'm ready to present as well.
Dear TechLearn, hit me up.
Yeah, let
Buy
us, I
one, get
mean,
three
for
free.
real,
Get
we
two free.
support you.
Mhm.
Shoot, I support you. I want to be in it. We're the bomb. Ready?
I had that thought today too. I was like, I need to get some confidence. I actually texted Sandra this morning because I think I've been stuck in a rut. Because there's some things where I want to do all this cool new innovation, but everyone around me isn't there. And so I have to continuously dial it back. And I think that makes you lose that excitement. It takes it away. You're just kind of like, oh, here, another
Ginger
box
night.
we're gonna check. And I text Sandra thanking her because she was the one that had the idea to come here. And I think I needed this. I needed to get excited about something. Well, that Daphne, I didn't know Daphne. You know what? I didn't know Daphne until let's talk about
Oh,
how I
let's talk
met
about that.
Daphne. Yeah, let's talk about that because I haven't been to a conference since 2019. I work from home. I was in the contract world for a long time. There are still people that sometimes show up that I really have to jog my memory on where they're from. So I get to the conference yesterday and I am up getting some breakfast. And this
No,
woman walks up next to me and says, "Oh, hi, Shannon."
it wasn't
Or
breakfast.
no,
It wasn't
it
breakfast,
was
it was
meet and
the
greet.
evening
Yeah.
it
of
was the meet
Tuesday.
and greet. You're right. Yep. It was the meet and greet. My bad. It was the meet and greet where we did somebody compared it to speed dating today, and I had to laugh.
It's
Because
true.
that's kind of what it was like. You had instead of booths, you had all these tables and you had like 7 minutes at a table and you had to move. So I ran up to get some food and this woman walks up and just says, "Hi, Shannon." And I was like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And I'm immediately like, I don't know who this is, but I'm going to play this off until I see her name tag. And then she walked around the table and I'm like, "You're Daphne." It was hilarious though. And I knew from that instant that I liked you. And I was like, oh, her personality's so cool that she came up and did that. And like, she was just like, let's make it awkward. And
I
I
did.
just ran with it.
She was up there getting food and I was like, "Hey, Shannon." And you were like, "What? Who are you?"
She also gave you a little ticket for,
Yes, she did.
for
So
you to
then
redeem. It was
somebody
free.
else, yeah,
Yes.
somebody else there was like, "Man, someone gave me 5 drink tickets." I'm like, "Where do you go for those?" And Daphne was like, "I got you, girl," and gave me one. I was like, did we just become best friends? Like, is that what just happened? I think we just became best friends. We're
Yes.
gonna do lots
Step
of
Brothers.
activities.
That's from Step Brothers, in case you guys haven't seen it.
I haven't
Best
seen
show
it. I'm
ever.
sorry.
Daphne. This
You know
is
what?
where
You're
you lose her.
not my only friend that always says, "Hey, did you see that?" I'm like, "No." And they're like,
I've seen 5
"Thanks."
movies, and that's it. That's it. You make a movie reference about something else, and you lose me. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious, and just seeing you guys interact was amazing for me because I'm like, oh my god, the best friend and then the coworker. This is great, and we're all instructional designers.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I'm so glad that
Well,
you're able to join us today so that we can chat more about
my
that.
confession is that I saw both of y'all at a booth while we were in that same, conference room or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, Sandra." And I was taking food to a table and I saw you and y'all were both wearing dresses. So I was like, "Okay, Shannon." And so then like when you walked over to, your table and then to the line, I was like, that's when I was like, "Hey, Shannon." And you were like, "Oh my God, who the heck is this?" So
Oh, shout out to you, Shannon, because she brought food to my table.
I did. I hooked Sandra up. She was hungry. She was a little
Oh,
overwhelmed. She got one plate. We sat down and I was like, "I'm getting up. What can I get you?" And she's like, "Girl, I want more of those chips with the queso and salsa, and I want 2 more of those empanadas." And I was
like,
like,
yes.
"Say less.
delicious.
I'll be back."
That's how you know. That's how you know. Like I'm like,
Okay, so it's good.
she loves me. I was fed. I was a little cranky yesterday in the evening. Okay, let's talk about that little experience. The
Okay.
dine around,
Oh,
Oh,
however
yeah.
it was
yeah.
called. Again,
That
we're at
was
the
interesting.
TechLearn conference, and we're supposed to meet up so that we can go try a restaurant. I don't know if we want to say the name of the restaurant. Not that we're like
Swiss,
big out there in the
Yeah.
street.
no, wait, Swiss Attic? Swiss
Oh, she
Attic.
did it. She did it.
She did it. It's all right. It's all right. It's out there. Hey, some people love that. It just was not for our group.
Google it, see if that's for you. If that's for
It might be.
you, I encourage you to try it. I can tell you one thing, it was interesting because the moment that I sat down and looked at the menu, I'm like, nope, that's not for me. And I made a face, and then it was immediately followed by sushi. So I was like, yes, let's go, which happened to be downstairs from the restaurant that we were in. So we went to enjoyed sushi. We got to meet an awesome person, Lisa.
Hartman. Yep.
awesome conversation during dinner. And then, you come to these events hoping to gain knowledge and things like that. But I think one of the best parts is also interacting with others and networking, right?
Absolutely.
Shannon was on it the entire time. And I'm like, who is this person?
Yeah. She's texting me, girl, I'm so hungry. Like, I could eat my arm, but Shannon has to keep making friends. And but that was so the restaurant, just before we leave the restaurant, ambiance was great. The vibe was great. It's like a shareable plate type restaurant. The miss, I don't think was on the restaurant. It was on that, it was presented to us when we chose that group as American food. So we're thinking burgers and things like that. And we get there and it was not. So that was probably the miss.
Yeah.
But we like wrangled it in, and it was you, Daphne. You called downstairs, got us a reservation.
Everyone's talking around me, and I'm like, "Hi, can I make a reservation?" It was like 7:40. I was like, "They were like, when do you want it?" I'm like, 7:50.
It was
That was in
7:45.
9 minutes. I remember
something like that. Yeah.
I remember looking at my phone thinking, I gotta drink this drink, and I ordered a drink. I got 9 minutes, and we gotta be downstairs. Like, all right. I mean, I'm here for it.
You were like, challenge accepted.
Oh, accepted, already won, not even a problem, but I was processing.
Daphne understood the assignment. She's like, I got you. Say less.
We need to get out of the restaurant that serves pork cheeks and it was like spicy curry chicken with then like a random vegetable that I've never heard before. So
it was chicken thighs too. That the most normal thing on the whole menu was chicken thighs. And there were some things that I was like, I could go for that. And then I got to like the fourth thing and I was like,
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
My whole thing was, I don't want to buy something. And you guys, when I say I wanted to eat a pterodactyl, no animals were harmed, okay, except for the fish that I ate during, sushi dinner. But I was afraid that I was going to order something and they were going to give me something the size of my palm, okay? And I need a size of 15 palms, okay?
For $40.
We are going to talk about my food and my my relationship with it in another episode. We don't need a therapy session right now. But what I will say is that sushi was awesome. The conversation was great. I tried something new, what was it, raw fish, half raw or whatever?
The salmon.
Oh, that salmon. It was cooked. That salmon was cooked. It was good.
It was barely though.
It was barely.
It was just
barely.
It was
just there.
I'm like, who do I think I am out here in these Austin streets eating barely cooked salmon?
Oh, it was good.
It was good.
That was tasty.
Yeah, it was really good. It was great company. It was overall a great experience after that. And then we kind of ended the night and everybody went to their own space and called it a night. Girl,
I was tired. I was done. But then I was hungry because we had sushi. So like I was debating DoorDashing some Raising Cane's and I was like, girl, don't do it. Don't do it. Like that. You'll regret it. You're going to be tired. Did you DoorDash food?
No, I remember my text to you and I said, do it.
You did. And I was like, I told myself, don't do it. I was like, just go to sleep. Like, you're hungry, just go to sleep. Because I messed up when we went to CVS. I didn't get the snacks.
Girl, I got snacks here.
Well, I'm going to come.
Help me.
I have snacks here too.
Help me.
Oh, good.
Oh my gosh. But so yeah, yesterday was good. Today was good. It just felt like it was a lot. It was a long day. I will tell you this, during the interactive BYOD, which is bring your own device, I used the tools that I had with me available and I Camtasia'd it up. I screen captured, did the audio so that when we come back, I can share the people's what I learned. I'll just fast forward, do some rough cuts. We'll be fine.
That was awesome. I gotta give my girl a shout out too, because for those of you who know me, you know I showed up with no business card. Like it was, I mean, I'm a poster child for ADHD. I had a list, I did the list. Business card wasn't on it. I'm like, who uses those? Like, but at breakfast this morning, Sandra hooked me up with QR code to my LinkedIn to share on my phone. I was like, what food do you need? I got you. I'll go get your food. I'll get you whatever. I texted you the room number for your next session. So she hooked me up.
She knows my needs. I know hers. That's how it works. Speaking
Yep.
of business cards,
That is awesome.
what
That
is
is,
this is how I know we're friends. Like my friends do this. And can I just say, I don't know if you guys could see this, and you're not gonna see this if you're listening to us on a thing.
Might need to put like a
It
notebook
says
with white.
creative unicorn.
mhm.
You guys, I might have to blur some of
I
that.
love it.
It's got your phone number on it.
And
I'm
Wait.
creative unicorn on that one, and then the other hello one, I am creative SME, I believe.
Okay,
So-
I have the other one. I just don't know where it is. But if one of y'all have it, but I'm looking because I know where it.
I
have it in
I
here.
have it. It's in my bag, but I'm not about to get up.
Hello,
Okay.
look at this.
That's
How
cute.
cute is that? Seriously. And then there's all her information. Like I know we are past. Like everybody thinks digital, 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 but like she handed this out, and I'm like, this is like intent and thought, and it's cute. And props to you,
Oh my
Daphne.
gosh.
I thought this was adorable.
That's so cute.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mine was, oh snap, I forgot to order mine.
And
I created
mine
one
was
where it has my name on there. And when you go to my QR code, go straight to my website. I put it on a lanyard and it goes, actually, it's not a lanyard, it's for something else. But you know, I use what I got. I designed it, cut it, put laminate paper over it because I'm a crafter, also, if you didn't know. And it goes to the link of my website and it's got a email me, follow me, listen to me in a podcast or something like that.
mhm.
Like
Yes,
it's
she got a
look at
bunch
my
of links.
website. Yeah.
And
It
in
might-
true traditional Shannon fashion, I was just coming in hot. And I've just got a picture on my phone lock screen that's got my name and a QR code that Sandra helped me out with today. But you know what? It works. It
Yep.
works. And you know what? This right here proves that all levels of what do we call this? I mean, I consider myself, what do you call me? But we got Daphne that's got this beautiful printed stuff. We got Sandra that did the lanyard, and we got me that like threw some stuff together with Sandra at breakfast. But we're all successful.
But we met a deadline. Is
We
what
met a
I'm hearing.
deadline. Yes.
We're all
Daphne thinks
creative
about it and
unicorns.
follows through. Huh?
We're all creative unicorns, and we all have our niches, and we all have our idiosyncrasies and ways that we excel, and they're all different.
Can I also say that I love that we support each other?
Yes, absolutely.
I
Opposites
love
attract.
that. Like there is no need. I mean, a little healthy competition, don't get me wrong. Yes, because I already heard Shannon is knee deep in this chatbot. Now I gotta go ahead and get in the game.
I was hoping I'd have one built today after this last session, but I was a little disappointed. It had a really long name. I could look it up, but it led me to think we were building a chat bot, and we just did more prompts, but that's okay.
Ooh, I have
I'm
a horn
still-
for that. I have a horn for that. Wait, hold on.
Hmm.
Is it this one?
Yes. And it was, hold up.
You're welcome.
Let's find the name of the session I went to today. It was creating chat bots that send LLM powered reminders and nudges. Okay. And
Yeah.
I
Makes me
read
think
that.
you're going to create a chatbot.
It said creating chat bots. That's what it started with. And when we got there, all we did was create the nudges and reminders. We did not create the chat bot. And the speaker is the CEO of a company that is an authoring tool to build chat bots. I thought I was getting a sandbox. I thought I was building a chat bot. I thought he was going to try to sell me a subscription. That's what I wanted, to be honest. I wanted to see that because I've played with them. I've played with the decision trees and different chatbot authoring tools. I have built my own with layers and different master slides and storyline and timing and stuff. But that's not going to pull in AI. It's just going to pull in the things I've told it can say. I have to pre-build all of that. So I was really hoping I was building a chatbot. But I just built prompts for Chat GPT. So I was a little bummed, but I'm still gonna go check out the it's a mobile coach is the authoring tool. Still gonna go check it out. The speaker or presenter obviously was really skilled in how to like generate. It was cool. I didn't think about going to Chat GPT and saying, hey, build all this logic out for me for my chat bot. So that was a cool piece, right? Didn't think of that. And that's what we worked on. So I would do that now, but I really wanted to build a chat bot. I wanted someone to make it easy.
Right.
Sandra and I went to a session today.
That's what I was going to talk about. Go ahead.
Oh, you want to go ahead again?
I speak a lot. If allowed, I will take over the show. Thank you very much. You know, you know.
So,
Okay.
this session was at, it was this morning, about 11:15, right before lunch. And it was called Truly Adaptive Learning Using AI. And I'm thinking we're going to gain some knowledge on how to integrate. And then actually when you clicked in on it with the app, it actually said that we would be using AI in e-learning. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to hear about some software. I'm going to hear about some apps. I'm going to hear about like what different types of AI I can use in my e-learning courses. And this man, I don't even want to give his name because
No, don't.
That's okay. We're good.
We're good.
This session leader basically talked about why and how people should use e-learning and why it's cost effective. And the majority of people that were in that class, I'm pretty sure, I don't want to speak for everyone, but they were pretty sure that they were wanting the same thing that I was wanting, the AI, the information, because even the people around me, we were kind of discussing. Sandra was like over there in the back and I was like on the side, and the people around me, they were all like, I thought this was going to be AI related, and it's not. It's about e-learning, like taking you back to the very beginning of why you should use an e-learning instead of PowerPoint. That's what it was. It was so disappointing.
That's the conversation we have with everyone around us all the time when they want to just throw a PowerPoint in the LMS.
Right.
I will say that some of us, no, because the session had ended, right?
Sandra got, I think, got a few things out of it. I did not, but
I tried.
She does. She's the queen of positivity.
That's not it. That's not it.
No,
but
that is it. That's absolutely it. You always are like, but here's like the 3 good things that I could find.
I did talk about it in the recap, brief recap. And guys, in case you wanted to know, why e-learning, low cost delivery, reduces time in learning, depends on how long your e-learning is. Okay, there's a little asterisk. Consistency, and then that's pretty much it. 5 foundations of adaptive learning, which he kind of went over it, was motivation, individualization, support, relevance, and empathy. That's what he talked about. Again, I'm a visual learner. I'm also an instructional designer. And so I guess I expect a lot from people that are presenting to me. And there was a disconnect because the presentation wasn't there. Right. They talked a lot about a company, cosmetic company, and I felt like they wanted me to become also a member of this company. But they, the way that they explained it was not the approach that I would have taken. It was like, this is how we built it. This is why we built it. It was more of, this is their journey, for their career. And it was a miss. That one was a miss because I feel like if they would have actually talked more about what they were supposed to talk about, then I would have gained more knowledge
Mhm.
They
from that
also
experience.
promoted their book, which was a
Ew.
definite miss because honestly, the entire session, you know, was to me was a fail. So why would I now be interested in your book? So
Right. That's a little cringe.
Well,
I get why you did it, but
plug. We're
yeah,
starting to get in this space, we
yeah.
plug ourselves everywhere.
Yeah.
Plug, 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 plug.
I mean, you do that. I had a session. Okay, so I'm just going to give a big thumbs down, and I don't care that they're a multi-million-dollar company, but I'm going to give a big thumbs down
Popular opinion.
to Adobe Captivate and what y'all are doing.
Uh-oh.
Thumbs down. I was hopeful. I'd been advocating. I just went to my leadership and asked for a license because I was like, I want to stay relevant in this field. There are more authoring tools than just Storyline. I want an updated Captivate license. I want to learn what's in there. I remember I used to love using Captivate for simulations. I can pre-build my call out buttons and all those things. And there's tricks to do that in Storyline. We talked about that a little bit, Daphne. But there were things I liked Captivate for. And I've always said they're kind of like Captivate is like Windows and Storyline is like Apple, Mac
Yes, I've
OS.
always said that.
Like,
I've always said that.
I've said that too, because you could go into Captivate and you can manipulate it in the same way you can manipulate Windows, but Storyline is like, nah, we're not going to let you do that. We did it for you. We're going to shut this off. You're going to do it how we do it. And so Storyline kind of locks it down a bit more. I was hopeful today. I went to a Captivate session, even after my leadership told me I could not have a license.
She went rogue. It's very
I
Shannon.
went rogue. I went rogue. Sorry, I went rogue. But I
I'm
was
gonna
very
bleep out his
disappointed.
name.
Huh?
I'm gonna bleep out his name.
Sorry.
We'll never know.
I went to the session and I was very disappointed. They tried in their new Captivate Charm, they have essentially tried to make it look like Storyline, function a little bit like Rise, and ultimately make you feel like you're building an app or a web page. You got to put everything in containers. What? Like, I mean, maybe if I'm building an app, maybe if I want to use Captivate to build an app, that might be the win for me. But there was just a lot of features they left out. I was really disappointed, and everyone in the room was kind of like, can we do this? It was like, no. Can we do this? There's no templates. There's no, it was,
Do you think
I can't believe they reimagined a product with that many that many misses. And here was the biggest thing. Captivate 19 and Captivate Classic files aren't compatible with Captivate Charm, which is their new software. You got to rebuild all your stuff from 5 years ago. Like,
Oh,
yeah. And
oh
so
no.
I have a feeling they will ultimately find a patch for that because I think that is going to be a huge deal.
That's gonna be a hit for them.
But I mean,
Not in a good way.
I get 2019 stuff should be rebuilt, or it should be because Flash was available then. Most of us weren't using it, but I should still be able to open my CPTX file from 2019
Right.
and be like, I'm going to update this and I'm going to republish it for HTML.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't even do that right now.
so? I used Captivate back in patient education when I first started on e-learning, my e-learning journey. And it was very not user intuitive. It's like all Adobe products where there's like 5 million things that you can do to like
Yes.
make an e-learning. And you're so overwhelmed by all the little things that you do that you have
Yes.
to go to YouTube and figure out, oh, how do you do blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
And I wonder if Captivate changed because a lot of people are using user intuitive articulate Storyline and they wanted to kind of be like them.
I would bet that was their goal, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what people want.
Yeah.
And that was kind of where I was at. They just missed some major features that I don't know. And when you're going through it and publish it, it looks like a rise course. Like it moves through it like vertically. It was just very
I'm
different.
not a
That's
fan
not
of
my
rice,
favorite.
so.
It's not my favorite either.
It's not my favorite. I didn't attend, but if we had an opportunity for Adobe Captivate to sponsor us, I think that moment has passed. They're like, oh, that's an immediate no.
You know what? I'm gonna table it because their official release isn't till for Adobe Charm, and that's gonna just be, or Captivate Charm will ultimately be just Captivate, and that'll be their new like cloud-based version. I'm gonna see what they do before it's officially there and the old versions are retired, because the presenter said there's lots of things on the roadmap that keep coming and going, and they keep adding things, and it seems like they're in the thick of it right now.
Okay,
So
right.
we'll see where they land, right? I mean, if they land with a good product, I'm still going to want to use it.
Right.
That's actually really good information. So not only am I going back to talk with my own coworkers about what I've learned, but within our HR organizational development group, I told them that I would relay some information that I've learned as well. And a lot of their courses are in Adobe Captivate, so it'll be good to know that their courses from prior will not be able to be utilized with the new one. So
Yep.
that's good information.
I think he mentioned like 2027 is when they would retire Classic and move fully into Charm, which will be Captivate. Only it'll be known as just Captivate. So there will be some overlap. But yeah, that's alarming. And there's a lot of organizations that are using much older, or vendors that are using much older versions of Captivate. I know that one of the vendors that I assist with in my role uses Captivate 8. So what's going to happen
Ooh.
with all of those? Because that's very old.
Love to redo them.
I have questions.
Mhm.
So many questions. Why is one of them?
Yep.
Yeah. All
That's
right.
all.
Well, we still have one more day left, guys. I don't know.
Yep.
Follow us on our social to get a recap of those
Yeah.
things and our perspective about that.
Mhm.
It's where can you find us on the TikToks?
Find us, oops, I am an ID
Same
on
for
the
Instagram
TikToks. Yep.
and the YouTubes. Follow us there so you can get like a heads up of, stay in the know of what happens tomorrow. Day 2 question mark?
Yeah, I
Yep.
I don't
believe
know
that
what day
we're
it is.
at the end of it, I believe that we're gonna be two-stepping.
What?
What?
Oh,
Yeah, there's a dance portion at the end of this at the end of the
What?
conference. Yeah,
TikTok opportunity. You better take it.
Oh,
that's true.
Shenanigans.
you gotta check
Shenanigans.
out the TikTok. I promoted Chacos today.
Thank you.
Chacos, you see the TikTok, you were tagged. I need some work shoes for the conference. That's where we're at. And I will be able to two-step in them. And also, I'm excited because once we're done tonight, we're going for some tacos.
Yes,
Like
All you have to say was food,
and
I
taco,
love
but
language.
I know tacos for you, Sandra. Tacos, like they hit different.
They do.
Like tacos
and
where it's
queso.
at. And queso.
If you know, you know. It's really the weight of my
salsa.
heart. It's the weight of my heart. Yes, I will definitely be enjoying dinner. I think that's all I have for our stuff today. Oh, before we go, remember when? Do we have a remember when? Question mark.
Remember when?
When?
I have it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So remember when you used to ask for feedback from your client the stuff that you used to use. Email. I mean, okay, here's the thing. People still do this because they refuse to do it the way that I'm telling them to, which is the most effective way. Right now it's Articulate Review 360.
100%. That's all I'm using.
And there's some clients of mine that do not want to do it that way. They prefer to do a screenshot, send me an email,
Nope.
type it out.
Hard no.
Sometimes you get to a point where you just have to let the client be the client, and that's not something that I'm willing to, fight over or push on, not fight, but push on. And yeah, I remember when, and that still stands today. What you got, Daphne? You have anything?
So, I mean, all of the times back before Articulate 360 review existed, it would just be like an email or like an e-learning checklist that we created to so like one of my biggest projects was a lab safety training. And because there were two parts, there was like a fast track and then an actual course that they could either click into. We had to have our courses go into something called staging for them to test. And like there were 30 people that needed to test this course, from, people in my clients to people working in the institution. And we had to like I created a script for them to be like a reviewer of, somebody taking the quiz, the fast track quiz, and then I had a person that failed it. I had a person that passed it. I also had a person that when they failed it, they went into the course and took all 9 modules. Then I had somebody that went straight to taking the modules. So it was like a script that I had written out. Does this work? Do these slides work? Everything
Right.
written out. But now 360 review makes it so much easier. They can just respond on each slide that they see. So it's definitely gotten easier.
Shannon, she's back. Back again. Guess who's back? Tell
My
us.
phone died. Sorry,
Guess who's
guys.
back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
I was like, oh, shoot. Oh, shoot.
You know what? I think I've had a song for every episode. Okay, so you didn't miss much. We were still talking about the beta and review and how you can update slides and stuff like that. Articulate 360 has new updates. Check them out with AI. That was pretty cool. You guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining us for the Oops, I Am an ID with Sandra and Shannon and our special guest, Daphne. Follow us on our socials and stay tuned for the next episode. It's been real.
I say, peace. Definitely cut that.
No, I'm keeping it. They need to know the corniness is not just me.
Yeah, I know.
It has spread.
You're wearing off on me.
You're welcome. All right, guys, y'all have a good evening and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.